Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. How are you all? Right, so I welcome you to this session, the part 7 of our ongoing series. Earlier, this series was called 50 must know vocabulary words. Then, on popular demand, we changed it to 500 must know vocabulary words. So, through these sessions, you will amass about 500 high frequency words, and we will also discuss some high frequency word roots. Right, so we are going to follow an etymological approach in many of our sessions. Right, and you could see that in the last session, the last to last session, that is the approach that I adopted. Good noon, good afternoon, Shishtu. How are you? Right. So today I have a lot of synonym antonym questions for you. I felt that we have been practicing fill in the blanks. We have been practicing analogy. So we've been practicing the other question types, but we also need to practice direct vocabulary as it is asked in a lot of your OMETs. Right. So today synonym antonym questions for you. Hi Aman, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sonali. All right. Let's have a look at some questions. Okay. So I've already given you the agenda. I don't think I need to repeat it. Yes. So we'll straight away come to a question, right? There are 5 options today because some of your OMETs such as NMAT, then if you take MAT, CT, ZAT, right? These have 5 options. So you need to be prepared for questions with 5 options as well. So today all your questions have 5 options. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Easy question. Give me the antonym of the word agnostic. Good noon, Ritik. Aman has already answered. What about others? Sonali also says 4. What about others? So I want quick responses and I want a lot of responses today, okay? Pranav 3, Ritik 4. Okay. What else? Yes, give me more responses. Just 4 so far. I need at least 6 to proceed. I won't proceed without that. Okay. Others? Good afternoon, Ajay. One more response I need. At least one more response. Then I'll discuss this. I am a little stubborn today. Okay. All right. Perfect. Let's discuss. So, agnostic. Where does this word come from? Let's have a look at that. I know that a lot of you know the meaning of this word. Okay. But where does it come from? Right. What are some other words from this root? Let's have a look. If I break this word, I can break it like this. A is a prefix, which is a negative prefix, which means not. No is the root here. I have discussed this no with you in diagnosis, in prognosis, right? So this no means to know. Okay, this is a root. And somebody who claims, somebody who says that, I don't know whether God exists or not, is a person who is an agnostic. What is the opposite of this word? So out of these options, yes, theist is the opposite. I agree, right? But let's have a look at these words and let me talk to you about theism, atheism, agnosticism and gnosticism, right? Doubter, yes, this person doubts. This person says, I don't know. So how can I be sure? So doubter is going to be a synonym rather than an antonym. So this is eliminated. Cynic. Who is a cynic? Yes, someone who is very skeptical, someone who's very doubtful. In fact, someone who feels that people around him or her have bad motives, ulterior motives, and is therefore very untrusting, right? This person is a cynic. Right? If you've attended my previous classes, I have discussed with you this quote that a cynic is someone who, when he smells flowers, looks for a coffin around. That is how negative this person is, right? So untrusting. So again, an agnostic does not really completely trust whether God exists or not, and therefore, while not an exact synonym, this is a similar word. Okay, it's a similar word. We can't call it an antonym. And now you've also realized that skeptic, when you're skeptical, you are a little doubtful about that thing, you are unsure of it, you don't know whether a particular thing will work or not. That's when you're skeptical about it. So even this cannot be the antonym here. Doubter, cynic, skeptic, सब eliminate हो गए. अब बचे ये दोनों, 3 and 4, rationalist and theist. So rationalism simply has to do with a person who believes in logic, reason, right? So what is the agnostic's basis of saying that, I'm not sure whether God exists or not? Because he says that there is no way to verify. There's no way to know, right? So yes, this person is applying his or her logic or reason to say that I'm not sure whether God exists or not. So again, a similar idea as many of you have identified. That's why 4 is our answer. It means theist. But if you go into the detail of this concept, if you want to understand this in detail, there are 2 things. There is knowledge and there is belief. They are 2 different things, you would agree? Knowledge involves collecting facts, verifying them, checking them for logic or reason, right? Belief, on the other hand, is simply based on your faith. Okay, there need not be any facts related to it. So the 2 terms related to knowledge about God are agnostic and gnostic. A gnostic says, you know what? I know that God exists. I don't know how they have verified it, but these people say that I know that God exists. Agnostic, I know, I'm not sure. I don't know. This person says that. Belief. Okay, when we talk about belief in God, then we have these 2 concepts, theism and atheism. So theist and atheist. So these guys say, see, I don't know. Forget knowledge, right? Let's talk about belief. I believe that God exists. Theist says that I believe that God exists. Atheist says, मुझे belief ही नहीं है, मैं नहीं जाके check कर रही, मुझे let's say belief ही नहीं है, I don't believe that God exists. So these 2, theo means God. Okay, these 2 are about belief in God, whereas these 2 are about knowledge of God's existence. I hope this is perfectly clear to you. Yes? Okay. That is very good, Ritik. If you got 3 wrong out of 20, that's a very good accuracy. Right. So this is clear to you? Can we proceed? Okay. Let's have a look at our next question. Again, give me a synonym of aberration. Yes, astic and nastic. Astic is theist and nastic is atheist. You're right. And again, these words come from astha, which is belief. What do you say? Second question, aberration. Synonym. Okay, 2 responses, but I need more. I need at least 8 to proceed. Okay. Good afternoon, Vaishnav. Pranav says 3. Okay. All right. 4. 5 I've got. 3 more at least. Come on. If it's easy, then all of you should answer, isn't it? This is an easy question. We've even seen this word. It's not the first time that we are encountering this word aberration. Okay. All right, then let's have a look. So, the root behind aberration is err. Can you tell me the meaning of this word err? It's a root also and it's a word also. So it's a legit word in English, to err. There is a proverb also, to err is human, to forgive divine. Okay, to forgive is divine. This is a very popular proverb in English. So, can we write that one more time? Which one? To err is human, to forgive is divine. So to err is to make mistakes. Okay. Err actually is a root that means to stray. When you stray away from your path, when you digress from your path, when you deviate from your path, you err. Right. So to err is to make mistakes as a word. Give me some similar words that you have heard in English related to err. Of course, error, errant, errata. Okay. So, error, you know, erroneous also we know. So, these are, you know, they belong to the same family. Err is a verb, error is a noun, erroneous is an adjective. All are related to making mistakes. To err is to make mistakes, error is a mistake, erroneous is something that is incorrect. Right. Now, tell me, errant. What is the meaning? An errant child. Correct, Ritik. An errant child is a mischievous child. Okay. An errant child is a mischievous child. So, this child is a very shaitan bacha, as we call them, right? So, this person will actually keep you on your toes all the time. This child will keep you on your toes. So that kind of a child is called an errant child, right? It's used for children in a slightly humorous way. You would not use it when, let's say, you are angry on a child, right? So that is the meaning of errant. For adults, we often use it when, let's say, they deviate from the accepted norms of the society. That's when we would call them errant. When adults would deviate from the accepted norms of the society. Okay, so these two meanings. Errata. Okay, I don't know if you've heard this or not, but when we create content, there are often some mistakes that creep in, some typos, right? So that's why proofreading is important. So proofreading helps you to identify those mistakes which are collectively called errata. So all these proofreading mistakes, typos, etc. Right? Erratum is the singular, errata is the plural. But we hardly use erratum. It's used for a single mistake. Okay, errata is used for many mistakes. So errata, errant, err, aberration. Aberration also means a deviation from the correct path. Right? So I hope this is clear to you, this root. Okay. Correct, Mayank. A mistake in printed material is errata. Nowadays, since we have online material, right? So even mistakes in that are called errata. Now, observation is not related. Then alternative, no. Outcome, stimulate, very simple words. These were not even vocabulary words. So this was a very easy question. Some questions in vocabulary, direct vocabulary, are very easy. This was one of those, right? Okay, so we have learned two roots, no, GNO, no, and ERR, err. Can you give me some more words that have this root no? So I told you about diagnosis and prognosis, right? They also have no in them. Diagnosis, prognosis. Yes, can you give me more words? Think about them. And at the same time, I want you to solve this question. Give me the antonym of obdurate. 5 options. Okay. All right. What else? And what is the answer for this one? Okay. 2 is what you say. 2 responses I've got. I want more responses. Come on. Three responses I've got so far. Why so lazy, guys? Today's questions are not difficult. I remember last time you said that, the questions are difficult. So I kept today's questions easy. They are intended more to teach you rather than test you. 6 responses I've got. What else? Yes. I won't rest till I've got at least 8. Okay. So, obdurate. Obdurate is someone, now it looks like it's a verb, right? Often it looks like it's a verb, but it's not. Okay. It's rather an adjective, which means stubborn. So today I am a little obdurate about your responses. I feel that the number of responses in this classroom is low, and that's why I want as many of you to respond. Okay, I want many of you to respond, not as many as possible. I want all of you to respond. Okay, so obdurate synonym is stubborn. Now the opposite is someone who is very pliant, who would agree to what you say, right? Very easily agree to what you say. Someone who's very obedient. So yielding, such a person is also called an yielding person. Somebody who's pliant, obedient, right, is yielding. So 2 here is the antonym. I think the other words were again pretty easy. This was an easy question again, right? Now diagnosis, prognosis, agnosia. What else? That's it. Cynos क्या होता है भाई? Yes, Ritik. Cynos, what does that mean? Signia, insignia, okay. But what does this mean? I would also like to know. Yes, GNO, no. Now, let's have a look. Agnosia, absolutely correct. Agnosia means it's a medical state which is experienced when people have Alzheimer's, sometimes when people have Parkinson's, that they fail to recognize people, and sometimes they even fail to recognize sensations. This happens to a lot of diabetic people also. Sometimes they fail to recognize sensations in their feet, right? So this failure to recognize sensations or people, this is called agnosia, and this is a result of a disease, right? So typically a result of brain damage. Okay, typically when do I call it agnosia? When it's typically a result of brain damage, right? So this is agnosia. Diagnosis, when your doctor examines you, he or she wants to know what the disease is. Prognosis, we have done this word in a previous session. In prognosis, the doctor tells you what he or she has understood about the future course of the treatment. what he or she has understood whether the disease is treatable or not. So the future course of illness and treatment, right? Predicting that is prognosis. Then there is a word prognosticate related to prognosis. Prognosticate, sorry, it's a verb. When you predict something about the future, okay, so a fortune teller prognosticates. They predict something about the future. An oracle, an oracle prognosticates. They predict about the future. Recognize, the word recognize also, cogn, it has cogn in it. So know and cogn both mean to know. So recognize, absolutely, it has cogn. Cognitive has cogn, and this also means to know. Let me write it here. Recognize, cognition. Cognition is your ability to, it's your ability to perceive your surroundings, to understand your surroundings. Cognizance, when the court takes cognizance of a crime, you know, people also spell it with a Z, that is also fine. So cognizance, when the court takes cognizance of a crime, it legally admits that issue in the court, that okay, we have taken this, we have now admitted that okay, this crime occurred. That is taking cognizance of a crime, right? Who are these people? Cognoscenti. We did this word in a previous session. I asked you the spelling of this word, cognoscenti. Who are these people? Natural and artificial. Ritik, both at the same time. Sinoflam is a medicine. I think it's the name of a tablet. Yes. So cognoscenti, who are these people? These people are people who are knowledgeable, okay, in a particular field. So people who are experts, who are knowledgeable in a particular field. Usually when we talk about fine food and drink, it could be other matters also. It's not confined to fine food and drink. So people who are experts are called cognoscenti. So this is how, you know, that's why etymology is so useful. You can learn so many words related to just a couple of roots. So cogn, no, very related roots, and so many words related to them, right? Cognition, cognoscenti, cognizance, prognosticate, agnosia, prognosis, diagnosis, etc., etc. Okay. Now, yes, it's the name of a medicine. You're right. Okay, I'll search whether ignominious has the same, has no as its root or not. Okay, I'll search that. Meanwhile, you attempt another question. So, give me the synonym of exacerbate. Again, easy. Let's see how many responses I get in the next 20 seconds. Sorry. Okay, 3, 4, 3. Okay, mostly I'm getting threes. So 7 responses. One more I need. So I just checked ignominious, Mayank. So I knew that it comes from this root called ignominia, but I thought I should go into its depth and check where ignominia comes from. If you also are confused about the root of a particular word and you want to check it, then there is this website called Etym Online, which is free. You can just go to it and it gives you very detailed bifurcation, a very detailed deconstruction of a particular word. So it will tell you, okay, where does the root ignominia also come from? And it says that yes, probably it has been influenced by this GNO. Probably, it's not confirmed. So we'll not categorize ignominious in this category, but all the others, they are for sure from this root. Right? Exacerbate is to worsen, so aggravate is the synonym, right? What are the antonyms? This question has antonyms also. So out of the other four options, what is the antonym of exacerbate? Yes. So the first two ideas, they are antonymous. When you exacerbate something, you worsen it, right? You, let's say, aggravate someone's pain, for that matter. On the other hand, when you soothe, you reduce the pain, right? A palliative is any drug, a painkiller, let's say, that soothes, eases someone's pain. Palliative is used as a noun also, it is used as an adjective also. As an adjective, it means something intended to soothe pain, intended to ease pain. For instance, I have told this to you on an earlier occasion also, that in hospitals, we have these wards, these spaces called palliative care wards. So there, patients who have terminal diseases, they are kept, because we can't cure them, but we can ease their pain. That is called palliative care, right? So palliative is the antonym, soothe is the antonym, aggravate is the synonym. Dissipate. When do we use this word, dissipate? Hanji, when do we use this word, dissipate? Have you heard this? The storm has dissipated. The clouds have dissipated. What does it mean? It simply means to disappear, to vanish. So it's not about easing pain, it's about vanishing, it's about dissolving, it's about disappearing. That is dissipate. Okay, so it can be used for natural phenomena also, like storms, right? It can also be used metaphorically. So metaphorically, for instance, the tension dissipated, let's say, on hearing the good news, my tension dissipated. So that would be a metaphorical use. Okay. Enervate. Looks like a very energetic word, right? We associate it with energetic. What does it mean, enervate? It's a verb. It means somebody who's very tired, somebody who's exhausted. So enervate is to exhaust, okay? To tire someone, to sap them of energy. That is enervate. Aapne energy nikal li. Okay, that is enervate. Remember it like this. So aggravate is our answer here. Again, the question was very easy, just that you learned a couple of extra words through this. Okay, now coming to fawner, tell me which is not a synonym of this word fawner, right? And you do get such questions. These are all high frequency words. Direct vocabulary is something that you will find in almost all your OMETs. Okay, be it NMAT, SNAP, you'll find direct vocabulary. By direct, I mean synonym, antonyms everywhere. Correct. Dissipate means to become weaker. Dissipate the chemical mixture. Yes, Siddharth, I also remember this. I would say slightly trickier than the other questions, but again, not very difficult. I would again call it easy to moderate only. 3, 4, okay, I've got 3 responses. What else? Anji, batao. What else? No, it's not hard. Eliminate. You'll get it. So just what, 4 responses? That's it. Is there any negative marking here? Will I deduct some of your marks from your entrance test? I have all the time in the world. I want more responses. Then only I'll discuss. One or five, okay. Not a synonym. I have actually reduced the instructions to a very readable form. You have to give me a word that is not a synonym of fawner. Okay, 5 responses. 3 more I need. No, motivational world, I can't do that. I can't deduct your marks. Okay, let's have a look. So, fawner, somebody who fawns over you, is actually your chamcha, is your sycophant. So a fawner is someone who's your sycophant, okay, who's a sycophant. This person will agree to everything that you say because he or she has some interest, some vested interest there, right? So they'll always butter you up, such people. So fawner, sycophant, synonyms. Obsequious, again synonym. Those who've done word par made easy would also know its etymology. Ob, seek. This SEQ is there in sequence also. It means to follow. Sequence में भी क्या होता है? One word follows the other, right? One letter, one number follows the other. So obsequious, this person will always follow you around, right? Why? Because they want something from you. Obsequious, sycophant. Synonyms. Lickspittle. Oh, I dislike this word, but again, somebody who's ready to lick your spit also, right? Lickspittle. That's how, this is the etymology of the word, and I dislike it. But again a chamcha, again a sycophant. Flunky, again a sycophant. Coterie, you know, in case you've read even fiction. So for instance, if you read about some kings of let's say of ancient India, some kings or some politicians today, they always have their coterie of, let's say, court members for kings and workers, party workers for politicians. So these coterie, what do they do? So coterie of these court members, this is a closed group for a king. It's a closed group. It's sort of a clique. They are the prime advisors of the king. Okay, and it's a very closed, exclusive group. They don't admit others easily. So coterie is simply a clique, a closed, exclusive group that does not admit other people. It is not direct. It may comprise sycophants. I'm not denying that. इस group में हो सकते हैं चमचे, but उसका meaning is clique, a closed, exclusive group. So that's why this is the odd one out here in a way. This is not a synonym. Okay. Yes, group of people with similar interests. Good. If fawner is a new word, flunky is a new word, then you've learned some new words related to sycophant. So 4 is the answer. Okay. Now, look at this. Archetype. Give me the synonym. Good afternoon, Arman. Bootlicker, yes. Bootlicker is also similar to lickspittle. Pranav. Three responses I've got. Others? Okay. Some more. Six responses. Two more. Okay. So some of you say five also. Antique. Did you associate it with archaeology and that's why you are saying antique? No. Archetype is simply something that's a typical example of something. A typical example of something. So for instance, if I say a mother is an archetype of selfless love, right? Or unconditional love. So she's a typical example of unconditional love, right? That's the meaning. So epitome, I can also say a mother is an epitome of unconditional love. Epitome also means the highest example of something, right? So epitome is our answer. Those who said two, absolutely correct. The other words are not related. Antique, no, not at all related. Symbol, I agree why you felt symbol could be an answer in case you felt that for a while. But we have a better word here. So that's why we'll not choose symbol. It's a typical symbol, not just symbol. Okay, a typical example rather. Then arch rival, someone who's your arch rival, your arch nemesis, in case you've heard this word, your arch nemesis or simply nemesis. This is N-E and this is M. Okay, simply nemesis is your chief enemy. Arch means chief. So your chief enemy, your mortal enemy is your arch rival, right? Taboo. So something that is taboo is not discussed usually, right? The discussion is prohibited, it's frowned upon, it's stigmatized, right? So for instance, sex is a taboo in many families, right? That it's not even openly uttered. The word is not even openly uttered. So that is taboo. And eliminated. Two is our answer. Okay. All right. Good. Now, look at this one. Give me the antonym of the word spawn. Arch means chief. Arch is in itself a prefix that means chief. Okay. And it is, don't confuse arch with arcane. Arcane is a different root. Arcane means old. And from there we have words such as archaeology. Okay. Archives. And one more that came to my mind. Archaeology, archives. I'll just think about it, okay? Meanwhile, you solve this. Antonym for spawn. Yes, antonym for spawn. Okay. What else? Okay, so I've got mostly fives. I've also got a couple of ones. Okay, fine. And we've got the quorum. So spawn. Spawn is a verb. I'm sure those of you who have studied biology, if you could remember it, frogs, they spawn eggs. Fish spawn eggs. So spawn means to release. Okay, and it's used for reproduction for many organisms, right? So to release or to deposit, that is what it means to spawn. In a derogatory sense, spawn also means to produce a large number of. So, you know, if let's say someone has a lot of kids and you are a little derogatory about it, so you would say, oh, this family has spawned so many children. These two people have spawned so many children, right? So spawn is to generate a large number of, so create, issue. Okay, again, they are related to releasing, okay, creating. Spare, extra, if you have something to spare. Mount is to climb. Mount simply means to climb. Destroy is the antonym. So while this is not very related, these two are synonyms. Spare simply means, you know, when you have something in a large quantity. So in a way, it's a similar idea, I could say. This is the only one that is completely the opposite. And that's why 5 is our answer. So good. Most of you guessed it correctly. 5 is our answer. And let's see this. Alleviate. Tell me what the answer should be. Give me a word that is not a synonym. Not a synonym. Okay, so word like nostalgia, but positive. But nostalgia is a positive word. Nostalgia is not a negative word, no? When you're nostalgic about something, you are remembering the past very fondly, in a very fond manner, right? That is when you're nostalgic. So nostalgic, reminiscent. When you reminisce, reminisce is the verb, reminiscent is the adjective. So when you're reminiscent of the past, or when you reminisce the past, again it means the same thing, that you are remembering it very fondly, right? Okay, elevate and alleviate are not the same. Okay, their meanings, you could say, are slightly similar. I'll give you an example. So 2 is what most of you've said. 5 is what one of you've guessed. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Emancipate means, okay. Alleviate, poverty alleviation programs, right? We have poverty alleviation programs. So what do? They reduce poverty. They uplift people, don't they? They uplift people. So alleviation means to reduce a bad situation, basically to uplift. Okay, so emancipate also means when you improve people's conditions, when you improve their material conditions, that's when you emancipate them. So alleviating conditions, for conditions we use alleviate, emancipating people over their conditions, uplifting them, they are very similar ideas. They are synonyms. 1 and 3 are synonyms. Attenuate and extenuate, they are given just to confuse you. Let me give you the meanings. Attenuate is to reduce the force of something. Reduce the force of something. These are actually used in legal language, both these words, to reduce the force of something. So for instance, if I say the fact that he stabbed another person in self-defense attenuates his crime. It reduces the force of his crime, right? The intensity of his crime, because he acted in self-defense. So attenuate means to weaken the force of, to reduce the force of. Okay. Extenuate again means something that makes something excusable. So for instance, if I say that although he has been absent from the class for a whole week, but since his house has flooded and he has no internet connection, that itself makes it an extenuating circumstance. That means uske circumstances ye abhi aise hain that it's an excusable thing for him. When, you know, an offense becomes less serious. Something that makes an offense less serious is an extenuating circumstance, or we say that this extenuates the offense. It makes it less serious. So attenuate, extenuate, again, not the opposite ideas. Definitely, we are talking about reducing the force of something, making an offense less serious, not the opposite ideas. Degrade is absolutely an opposite idea. So 2 is the answer here, right? Elevate means to raise. You ask this, elevate means to raise. So an elevator, the idea is that it, although it brings you down also, but it takes you up. So it elevates you to a higher position, to raise to a higher position, right? Then it is also used in spirituality. When you reach an elevated stage, you reach a higher stage, right? In your being, in your spiritual journey. So that is also a spiritual metaphorical meaning of elevate. So similar idea, uplift say, but not exactly the same, right? Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. I was not able to recall that arc, say another word. Nostalgic, reminiscent, both are positive. Hope this is also clear. Although the root of nostalgic has pain in it. Algia means pain. Okay, nostos, nostum means home. A pain for your home as it existed in the past. That's how the word originated. So, however, this is a positive word. Even this is a positive word. Right? Okay. So, any word that is not clear, any question that is not clear, please ask. Okay, then. So, in case you want to know more about our pedagogy, our materials, our frequency of classes, the way we teach, timings, everything, you can just unlock a 3-day free trial. Okay, and you'll get access to all these things. Then we have a test series for you. I'm sure a lot of you are looking for material, you're looking for mocks for CAT specifically. So we have this comprehensive test series that gives you CAT plus non-CAT mocks along with a lot of practice material also. So it doesn't just have mocks but also 10,000 practice questions here, right? So see this, video solutions also are available, and these are our CAT 22 toppers, you know them. And to become one such topper in the next exam in CAT 2023, you can join our comprehensive program. These are the details. The link for this is in the description box. Also, you know this, that this is our endeavor that we make our courses accessible. So on 23rd at 11 a.m., take the scholarship test. If you perform well, you can get up to a 90% scholarship for the course that I just talked to you about. Also, in case you are confused about when to go for an MBA, why should you go for it, how should you go for it, so all these general basic questions, this is, a very important question that even an interviewer will ask you in the exam, why an MBA? So get the answer to this on the 16th at 11 a.m. All right. So we are there on all the social media platforms. Do follow us, download our app. We conduct sessions there as well. And this is it from my side for today. We can't use degrade. So if someone, we can say that they live in a very degraded condition because of poverty. So we can't use degrade with poverty, or poverty, extreme poverty has degraded their life conditions. We can say that, Pranav. So we can use it. Okay? All right then. I hope you learned some new words today, some new roots today, and today's session was easy for you. Okay, I'll see you again with another session. Bye-bye. See you.